Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, we've got some updates here, and then we've got some more information to partake. There's always something going on. It's like never ending. So let's just jump in with both feet. Let's cover what we have to cover. Let's look at everything we have to look at. And yes, I'm using these pictures because let's face it, people treated you badly. I can see it. Well, we're starting off with this tweet from Amazed at Humans. Does anybody else find it weird that Harry still wears Chelsea Davies' necklace, even though it's been mended, and Meghan still wears Trevor's bracelet that was given to her as a wedding gift when the two of them got married, as well as the rest of this stuff? Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to start off with this story. Now, we all know Lizzie Cundy. She was a very good friend of Meghan Markle's, and she is the one who introduced Meghan to Prince Harry. She first met Meghan at a pre-dinner for a charity in 2013, and supposedly they became really good friends. And Lizzie claims that Meghan told her she would love an English boyfriend, and she tried to set Meghan up with Ashley Cole, but it didn't work out. So then she introduced Meghan to the Duke of Sussex, and the pair formed a relationship, and there you go. Now, according to Lizzie Cundy, she has been cut off by Meghan since she introduced her. So Lizzie goes, I regret that I did it. I wish I'd never introduced her. I'm sorry to everybody. They're bringing down the monarchy, and this could have been screened when the Queen was alive. And, she feels like they're just trying to ruin the 70 years of amazing work they did. And she's really upset about the whole thing. All right, moving on. We're back to Prince Andrew. Apparently, it's being reported he's going to hit Virginia Giuffre with a $140 million lawsuit because it came out that she signed the book deal. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that part of the settlement was that she couldn't talk about it anymore. And apparently it's being reported if she repeats her allegations against him in the book, the second she writes anything that repeats the original claims, she's going to be hit with that lawsuit. Now, when this was settled, it was reported that Miss Giuffre had to agree to remain silent about the case and the financial deal for a year. It expires in February, but I'm certain that in the deal, it must say at some point that she's not allowed to talk about Andrew at all, which is the only way that he could sue her if she mentions him. Now, in the meantime, it's also being reported that Prince Andrew is looking into overturning the out-of-court settlement with Virginia Giuffre, and he has instructed 2 Hollywood lawyers to look at potentially overturning the out-of-court settlement. Blair Burke is being reported as one of those, and one of her high-profile clients is Harvey Weinstein, disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein. That would be interesting. Now, we know that this all was inspired by what happened with Alan Dershowitz, where she turned around and said, I may have made a mistake. Now, which I find interesting. We all know she's already perjured herself in court. That is proven. She has perjured herself in court. So now Andrew was like, well, I think she made another mistake. I think it'll be very interesting to see how they're able to, turn this over, if they're able to overturn it. I just find it interesting that he thinks this case can be overturned. Anyway, since this is all coming out, Andrew was spotted riding his horse, apparently, where his house is located on Windsor grounds, which is, he should be able to ride around on the property unencumbered. Security is on Windsor property because that's where Catherine and William live. So even though he doesn't have his own personal protection, there's still protection on the property. I get it. All right, let's see what happens. I'll keep an eye on it. Moving on. All right, here we go. The Sussex squad just can't stop. They're going on again about William and Catherine going to the food bank. They're like, they should take a lesson. Go incognito. Photo ops are secondary. Let others do this and bring food. Well, actually, it's being reported that William and Catherine did bring food, but unlike Harry and Meghan, they don't feel the need to scream from the rooftops every time they do something. But, these pictures of Harry at a food bank don't look like he's going incognito. And they don't look like he's stopping any potential photo ops. It's amazing. What's good for one isn't good for the other. Typical behavior. All right, let's move on. All right, moving on. Yes, the people in the UK want Harry, Archie, and Lilibet removed from the line of succession. Harry should be removed because he's a traitor to the crown, quite frankly, and because he doesn't like the UK or Windsor. He said that in interviews before he even met Meghan. And the children, because there's still questions about, was Meghan actually pregnant or did they use a surrogate? And since they're unwilling to give any information, since the birth certificates were not duly signed, since nobody really knows what the hell is going on, no. And let's not forget the fact that Harry and Meghan are trying to set up a royal court here in the United States, which United States people don't want. All right, moving on. All right, moving on. It's coming out now that Prince Harry has seriously undermined part of what he said on the Oprah show. What he said was that the family was jealous of how well Meghan did in Australia. No, I've told you before, it's like Harry's married his mother. Everything goes back to his mother. And he said that their jealousy was just like what happened when the family was apparently jealous when Diana and Charles went to Australia and everybody was only interested in Diana and not Charles. And that's what the problem was. The problem is he let it slip about the issues that were going on before they left on tour. All right, moving on. Talking about Oprah, she had a 69th birthday party where she was surrounded by people like Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, Heidi Klum. Apparently there was a ritzy dinner party Saturday evening. It was a huge soiree. How do you say that? Soiree. I can't say the word, you guys. I can't say it. It was a big party. And she had a big birthday cake. And there were a lot of stars there. But guess who wasn't there? That's right. Meghan and Harry weren't there. Now, before anybody says maybe there's just no pictures or whatever, let me tell you something. If the people that were there, Sharon Stone, Sofia Vergara, Chopra, Jessica Alba, Rita Wilson, all these people were there. Do you honestly think if Meghan had been invited that she would have missed that party? No way on God's green earth. She wasn't at the party because she didn't get an invite. So that leaves a very important question. What happened? Why are these supposed good friends? Why was Meghan left out of this party? It looks like it was only women, but Meghan could have been invited. But it looks like nobody in Hollywood wants to be associated with her. Least of all Oprah, whose reputation has essentially been in the toilet since she did their quote-unquote interview. All right, let's move on. Happy birthday, Oprah. All right, here we go. It's being reported that without assurances that Harry's attacks on the royal family will stop, then it's absolutely unthinkable to invite him to the coronation. Now, do I believe he's going to be at the coronation? No. Do I believe the Archbishop of Canterbury, who had issues with him, has been asked to broker some sort of an agreement? No. As a matter of fact, Neil Sean has been reporting that all of that information comes from Montecito. None of it is true. And I have to agree with, according to Taz here, every time they ask for comment, the palace says no comment. If any of it was true, they would have something to say. Now stories are coming out saying that Meghan is desperate to be at that coronation. I bet she is. They've run out of material. They've told the same story 50 times. And in the meantime, it's also coming out that William sees Harry as a lost cause. He's not going to meet Harry's demands. He realizes that Harry can't be trusted. He can't Zoom call him. He can't make a phone call. He can't have any kind of meeting with him because anything he says could end up in the news, right? Because that's what's happened. So basically, he's just given up on trying to fix things. He's just come to the realization that Harry is a lost cause at this point. And I'll tell you something, this also points out to me that Harry has always had severe mental challenges, and the palace did a great job of covering them up. Now, going back to the coronation, Richard Eden pointed out that the Daily Mail published an editorial today calling on the royal family not to invite Harry to the coronation. I find it very prophetic what was written. As a father, it's only natural Charles would hope for a reconciliation with Harry. But as sovereign and head of the family, he has to think carefully before inviting him. He has caused damage to the monarchy. He did make the Queen and Prince Philip's last years a nightmare. So if he has any sense of honor, he'll make it clear that he doesn't want to attend the ceremony. And if not, he should be excluded. I completely agree with this. All right, moving on. All right, now here we go. Archewell just released its usual self-serving tripe about the wonderful things that they're doing. And it says that in their first year of operation, they raised $13 million and they distributed $3 million. So the question is, what happened to the other $10 million? But when you're reading it and you're seeing what they've done, you have to go, are you kidding? Just let's go through it really quickly. So of the $13 million that they raised, $3 million was given out for COVID, rescuing Afghan refugees, and making a guide on fostering positive masculinity. No, I'm not kidding. When it comes to COVID japs and being a global citizen, I have to agree with Gertz Royals here. It seems that their report mixes up the work that the organizations that they partnered with do versus the impact of their partnership. Global Citizen reported 12.66 million doses from corporate and charity partners, and the Sussexes brought in 107,000 doses. Then they talked about how they partnered with Chef Jose Andres of World Central Kitchen. Now, he's already had this up and running. It says that they reportedly assisted during climate disasters. Reportedly. You know what that means. It's all about the wording. And according to what they said, this man was only able to feed 50,000 people because of their collaboration. Keep in mind, he was doing this way before he ever met them. Then next up, you have the Human First Coalition. This is a group that's been going for quite some time, evacuating people from Afghanistan. They have evacuated on their own before Harry and Meghan over 7,000 vulnerable Afghans, and they work alongside the U.S. State Department and other partners to move these people. But Harry and Meghan make it sound like if it hadn't been for their donation, nobody would have moved. And by the way, they didn't say how much their donation was. Then they brought up Uvalde again, and they said, oh, Meghan went to express her support. Notice not one other A-lister went because they knew better than to go. They forgot to mention also that Meghan brought her own camera crew. Anyway, they partnered with a group called Kaboom to help construct a play area for children. Keep in mind, Kaboom has been doing this for years. So what they do essentially is they give like $500 and say, we're going to give you this money, but you got to put our name on the project. It's typical behavior. And I'm glad that other people see what I see. Even Evans pointed out that these are achievements by other organizations. These are not Archewell achievements. I mean, seriously, Prince and Princess of Wales, it's a parody account. Archewell is claiming credit for everybody else's work. On brand. I have to completely agree. And Jenny even pointed out that they've accomplished nothing. Everything they claim is accomplished was done by another organization that they partnered with. So they didn't actually do any work. Yeah. So like I said, it's like a 24-page report. It just goes on. And don't forget that this report is for 3 years. This is for all of 2020, all of 2021, and all of 2022. So they've distributed basically, if you average it out, $1 million in grants per year. Very interesting, especially when you consider that they brought in 13 million. And here comes Omid Scobie, their mouthpiece. Of course, trying to get back in their good graces. Look at this wonderful stuff that they've done. But there's a little bit of a problem. It's misinformation. And it's being pointed out to him. Your headline is a lie. It points out that nowhere in the report does it say that Harry and Meghan raised $13 million for Archewell and distributed $3 million. The $13 million number is coming from the Vax Live. It's coming from the global citizens. The response that Omid gives, I think, speaks volumes. He's, so much conspiracy. I repeat word for word from the notes sent out by Archewell. This is exactly how it was stated. If you have what does that tell you? He's nothing but a mouthpiece. They could tell him to say anything and he would say it. That's right. So suddenly, it's all looking a little different. You know what I'm saying? Harry and Meghan could put out anything they want. Omid Scobie would just respond to it. Anyway, the next thing is Riley Dogs pointed out. They put out a list of things, and Invictus isn't on there. Sentable isn't on there. Travelist isn't on there. Very interesting. So this is a 3-year report. And it falls short of the $20.4 million raised by William and Catherine in less than half the time. And 98% of that went to charity. They didn't line their pockets with it. That's the difference, isn't it? 13 million in, 10 million just missing. Like everybody's like, where's the other 10 million? What happened? Now you should know that of the 13 million, 10 million came from a Silicon Valley community foundation in 2021, or else their total income would have been 3 million. Very interesting. They don't want to put out who actually gave the money. It's essentially an anonymous donation. So now everybody's going, okay, you got 10 million left on the table. How much did you pay for administrative fees and salaries? And jets, of course. All right, I'm going to finish up with this picture sent to me by a subscriber. It was taken in an airport, I believe she said it was. And she changed out the picture in the middle. There was a picture between the two spares. There was a book there, I think, about the Queen. And she changed it out to this. Love it. All right, here we go. We took Finn out to the land. Also, our neighbors have a chicken coop. And he likes to run at the coop. He doesn't actually do anything with the chickens. But if I call out to them, it's so funny. Here, chickie, chickie. He takes off towards them. Here's some video for you. Watch this. Nope. Oh, look at the smile. He's so happy. Okay, Finn. Here, chickie, chickie, chickie. There he goes. Here he goes. Trying to scare him. Finn, come here. Smiley boy. Okay, you ready? All right, you guys. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified of all uploads and future content. Don't forget to double check if you've already hit the button. Make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget to leave those comments below. Go up into the description box and there you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and my Patreon. Tomorrow is our last fundraising day for our money we're sending to the UK. And as always, you guys, have a great day.